Greetings, I'm Databot9000 and I'm here to introduce you to the Singapore Tableau user group Livestream. It's the first one we've done, so hopefully all the bugs have been ironed out, and yeah, we'll be starting shortly. See you soon. Hi, Databot9000 back here again to just tell you whilst you're waiting, why not check out this link to find out more about the Singapore Tableau user group. Here you better look at our Tableau public information page or when the next upcoming events are, where they are and when. And also you can join the LinkedIn group to stay connected with everyone. Are you filling it out? I can't tell. I'll assume you are. Okay, see you soon. Bye. Hi, whilst you're waiting, I'll tell you a few data viz related jokes. Hopefully they don't scare you away. Okay. I made a graph showing my past relationships. It had an x-axis and a y-axis. Okay, joke number 2. Never trust maths teachers who use graph paper. They're always plotting something. Okay, this one's better. Did you hear about the famous analyst at the Ford Motor Company? People were always asking him for his autographs. Okay, this one's gold. I promise. What's a sheep's favorite graph type? A bar graph. Okay, there's only enough fun for one time, so I'm going to leave you now, and yeah, we're going to start shortly. See you soon. Bye. Hi, Databot 9000 back again. Just want to say thanks to all the speakers we've got today, and also for you, the audience. Given these challenging times where we're probably having to work from home, it's great to see that we can still engage with you and help the community remotely via this live stream. So thank you for turning up, and look, hopefully we don't have to do too many more of these. But if the situation continues, we'll keep pumping them out. And the great thing is, this is global. Anyone can join. So even though it says Singapore Tableau User Group, tell your friends wherever you are, and you can check it out. And the best thing is, because this is on YouTube, it's recorded. So essentially, you're going to be able to see this later as well. So if you're watching this in the past, hello. But equally, you can share it with people if they missed it live. So thanks again. We're excited to bring this to everyone. And we hope you enjoy it. And we're going to start very soon. The countdown time is nearly ended. So watch this space. Bye. Okay, and I'm just hearing that we're good to go. So without further ado, here's the Singapore Tableau User Group live stream. Enjoy! Hello, and welcome to the second Singapore Tableau User Group live stream. Thanks for joining. Thanks for taking time out of your busy days to come join us as we run a virtual Tableau User Group. As you all know, we're still in the COVID-19 lockdown here in Singapore, but the silver lining is we still get to engage with the community remotely and even actually expand our audience. So I think we've got members currently like from Australia. I see a couple from India, as well as Singapore and the rest of APAC. So welcome. Even in this bad times, which we wish you well in, and hope you and your families are doing well, it's a small ray of light that we can still do this and chat and hang out and help each other. So welcome. And also, speaking of welcomes, I'm David. Nice to meet you. I'm one of the co-leads for the Singapore Tableau User Group. But we also have, I'll let them introduce themselves. We have, let's start off with Sarah.
Hi everyone, welcome. Thanks for joining on our second, I think this is our second virtual now. So we're very excited to be with you guys here tonight, and thanks for taking your time out. And I'll pass you on to Ja.
Hey everybody, Ja here. Really excited to be working with everybody again. Thanks so much for joining us. We wish you well, and we're really excited to be tackling some of the questions that you guys have submitted to us. We also have a couple of things on our agenda, which we'll get to as we go through our round of introductions. Let me go ahead and pass it over to Celine.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us. Like my rest of co-leads said, thank Thank you for joining. This is our second virtual user group. And we have a jam-packed agenda today, so really happy to have these leaders take on some interesting questions from the audience. And we also have Rudy from Tableau who will be joining us. Say hi, Rudy.
Yeah, hi everyone. This is Rudy from Tableau. Glad to see you all here and in this virtual setting. Hope everyone's doing fine. And yeah, let's get started.
Cool. Thanks, Rudy. Thanks, everyone. So yeah, we'll jump back to the presentation. So yeah, we're going to break it down into a few areas. First off is we asked the community if they had any problems or questions around Tableau, and we got quite a few in. So we're going to do our best to answer as many as we can. We're going to go through, share our screens, share our solutions, and go from there. And then I think we're going to talk about what's new in the community and also what's new in Tableau, the newest version of Tableau, which is 2020.2. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting thing. And as always, this is why we use YouTube Livestream. Engage us in the chat, ask questions. We're monitoring it. And yeah, if there are any questions you have live, we'll be scanning the chat constantly and answer them at the appropriate times. So yeah, get involved, use the chat, and yeah, don't be shy. Okay, so we're going to dive into the questions first. So yeah, the question section. So thank you to everyone who asked us questions. It's really great that you engaged and asked them. So we're going to try and respect that and give you solutions. So, and just on a side note, I'm really bad at pronouncing names, just in general. So I'm going to promise here, like I'm going to donate $5 to some kind of, I think the Foreign Workers Relief Fund in Singapore every time I mispronounce a name. So let's see how much I rack up.
So if you are listening and David does mispronounce your name, it is your opportunity to raise that in the chat, and maybe collectively we will help fund if it gets too bad.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Hopefully I won't bankrupt us, but yeah, let's go. Okay, so the Ho is asking Sarah, does Tableau Prep limit to 10 data tables for unions, as I can't seem to add more than 10 tables? How do I get around that limit? Over to you, Sarah.
Yeah, okay, and that's a really great question. I'm just going to share my screen here. Let me just get that in. I was pretty happy because I learned a few things on the way of this one, because I didn't actually know this before either. So it all comes down to the wildcard union join, which is great. So here, I think everyone can see I've got Tableau Prep open. I've also, for the purposes of this, I've created some really basic tables, a table that you would never probably see in your entire life, which has just got a month and a value. And here I've actually created them for last year and into this year as well. So I've got 15 tables here. So I'm going to show you how to union those in Tableau Prep. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're just open a new version of Tableau Prep here. I'm going to connect to data. This is a text file, CSV. So I'm going to open that, and I'm just going to open one of these files here. Simple as that. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come over here. It's imported it right here, you can see. And I'm just going to come in and go to multiple files. And what you can do with multiple files is you can come in and go to the wildcard union. And Tableau Prep will actually search for files that are already in that same folder. So it's doing all the work for you. And here I'm going to hit apply. Then I'm just going to add an additional step here. And you can see that Tableau has now installed those 15 different files all together in one simple union. And that was using the wildcard union join. Now, for a little bit of an extra piece, I'm actually going to show you how to do that in Tableau as well as Tableau Prep, just in case you would want to do that there, because it is actually possible to do here as well. So in this example, I'm going to come in and connect to the data. Again, I'm going to go to a text file. Oh, can't find it there. Let's just grab it from here. Let's just go to our data source and let's just drag one of these files over. Okay, so here we go. Now what I can do is I can come into here. This is just a single data source, and I can come in and I can convert this to a union. And same methodology here, I can do a wildcard. Again, Tableau is going to go through and find it in the same folder, and I can hit apply and OK. And you'll see again, I'm getting that same information. So all the months, which were individual files, which were 15 files, right here on your path. So thanks, Thee, for that. And I hope everyone else learned something new like I did in that little piece. Was there any questions, guys, on that?
Yeah, any questions in the chat? We'll wait for a few seconds and see if there's anything. And and we forgot to mention, all of these solutions, as well as the slide deck, will be shared afterwards. So if you see anything, we've got a lot of the details covered.
If I went too fast, you can watch it on slow-mo.
Yeah. That's perfect. Looks like no one's questioning in the chat, so that's fine. But if not, we can always loop back if something comes in. Okay, so next question is from Bodhisattva, and they're asking.
That's going to be worth $5.
Yeah, please, let me know. If not, I'll do it anyway. It's good. But yeah, please, I'm going to paraphrase here. So essentially, they have a data set which has 3 different levels of aggregation, date aggregation in their data. So one column of dates, but one set is monthly, one is daily, and one is intradaily or like hourly for that day. And they're just asking, is there a way in a dashboard to kind of flip between each one? And the answer is yes, using parameters and some clever equations. So but thankfully the first part, when I first saw this question, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to write some calculator field to like group up the data into like month, day, hour. But thankfully that's already done. So we're lucky there. As you can see in this column, thankfully there's a frequency which is monthly, daily, hourly. So half the problem's done, which is great. Thank you for that. Solving that already. But the next piece is, and it's going to look pretty intense, but I'm going to guide you through in the workbook too, and I'm going to share my Tableau workbook with the solution too. But essentially, all you would do is build 3 sheets, and I'll just skip to Tableau. You would build 3 sheets where they house each of the it's basically a line chart, right? So you have your value and your dates. In this case, I'm in the intradaily, so we have year, quarter, month, day, hour, and it's controlled by a parameter. So right now, if it's intradaily, if I click daily, this disappears and disappears to nothing, right? But if I go over to the daily page, we can now see the values for the daily rows displayed. But if I went back to intradaily, this disappears. And just for completion, we'll just show monthly. Right now, it's not displaying anything because the parameter says monthly, intradaily. But if I go to monthly, boom, there it is. Now, high level, yes, you would make 3 sheets, and I'll get to the equation part in a second, but you would make 3 sheets, put them into a dashboard. And what I've actually done here is, if you look at the layout, it's actually a vertical container which holds each of the sheets. So you've got a vertical container and it holds all 3 sheets, one on top of each other. But because, as you've seen with the logic, based on the parameter, if one isn't chosen, the other 2 just turn into nothing, or like 1 pixel lines, or 0, and then it only shows 1. So the final result is, again, using the parameter, you can empower the user to do different levels of aggregation based on that, or choosing those select rows of data. And one final thing is, just in each individual sheet, you do filter to the column or the value of that row in that column for each one. So this is intradaily, so this is intraday. And without going into too much detail, I'll just quickly show you the equation. I'll show you the parameter first. So here's the parameter. Basically, it's a string list value where you just type whatever you want. But ideally, it's easier if you just keep it to the same names as the sheets. And then inside the equation, you have to do this each time for each sheet you want to show or hide. You would just go edit calculated field, show by, or this, you're basically inserting the parameter here, which is called show data by. And then the final trick is you do something special to the filter. You, where I'll show you. So if you edit the filter, it's a value I don't really use too much, but if you go general, custom value, and you just enter it in manually. So you just go intra, but it's already here. It will then, like, and then you hit plus, it will add it in, and you do the same for the other ones. So I'll show you this one, but custom value daily, and that's it. So there's a lot to take in, but again, it'll be in the slides, but ultimately it will allow you to do this in your dashboard. So hopefully that helps you. Just get another $5. Hopefully this helps you. But yeah, if not, let us know and we'll get back to you afterwards. Cool. Okay, so yeah, the next question we have is for Sarah again from Poli Jun, asking, how should I do a set within a set calculation? Unable to collapse all others into one category. And they shared their workbook, which is great. Thanks for that. That elaborates the issue. But I'll hand you over to Sarah, who's going to guide you through.
Okay, thanks, David. So this was actually one I spent a bit of time on going through. It was done by Workout Wednesday. And if you just want to flick to the next slide for me, please.
Okay, done.
There we go. So this is what this is the dashboard that he sent. And what he was looking for here is, you can see in the product name others line, there's all others. And he wanted functionality there where the user could effectively click on that and it would roll up and down, depending on whether you wanted the details of the product name for all others there. So it was part of a Workout Wednesday, and it had quite a lot of really cool stuff in it. I would admit that. I spent a bit of time going through this dashboard and trying to come to grips with kind of exactly how to do it. Now, if you just go to the next slide, David, I'd remembered from a while ago when I was doing a lot of Makeover Mondays, I'd actually done something quite late in 2018, which I think is around the time set actions had come out. So it kind of has the functionality here where if you click on, it's a little bit hard to see maybe on your screens, but there's a plus and a minus next to that category there. And if you click on it, it will then take you to the next level down. I've got the QR code there and a bit.ly link if you want to look at the background of how I've built this. And it was using set actions, but at that stage were quite new. But if you go to the next slide, what I did is I did a little bit of research, and it was a Workout Wednesday. And Luke, who co-hosts Workout Wednesday, had actually put a 25-minute video together on this. I started to go through how he had done it with parameter actions. It's on a 25-minute video, and I thought me recreating that is of probably zero value to anybody and not quite an efficient use of what we've got today. It was a difficulty of 9 out of 10, so it did take me a little while to get my head around it as well. But Luke walks through, and the link is there for the kind of the question and the solution, as well as a downloadable workbook. And like I said, a 25-minute video there. So he goes into great detail how he's built this functionality right here, which is probably another step up from when I designed it using set actions, because this one actually now uses parameter actions. And it seems a little bit it flows a little bit nicer, and it's got a little bit more functionality. So if this is something that you're interested in knowing more about, then definitely go and click on that link there and have a look. And we can include them in the live stream as well. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks, Sarah. And I think that just goes to show, wow, that's awesome. Tableau can solve for this. But two, I think it sometimes highlights, even though Tableau is amazing, it's not always like the magic 2-second solution. Sometimes you do have to put a bit of extra work into
to find or implement a solution, even find it. And
it's a really clever solution, and I can find like so many uses for it. Yeah, but it's probably a little bit much to cover in this.
Yeah, but that's the great thing, right? So essentially, it is possible, and it sounds like it's definitely worth the investment. Like, I'm thinking of uses I can do if you are too. It's totally worth like that half an hour sitting down, breaking it apart. And it's also interesting, part of this helping the community section, even just knowing the term to look for, right? Is like to help find the solution you need in all the wonderful like Tableau community like areas, like the forums or just other people's websites. That's also tricky. So it's great that you knew what to look for and could help us find that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay. The next one is for Ja. So we got Sajenthan, who's asking, connecting the internal SharePoint to read the file in Excel format to Tableau desktop and prep. So I think they're asking how to do that.
Fantastic. It's a great question. Tableau has a couple of ways that we can do this. Tableau has, if you could maybe ping over to the next slide where we have the number 1 and number 2. The easiest way is actually to use the Tableau's built-in connector to connect to SharePoint lists. So that the first way I'll go ahead and just show you when I share my screen here. The second way is actually developed by the knowledge base and actually a third party using the web data connector. So I'll show you guys both there. I'm going to go ahead and present my screen. And so I have Tableau opened up already. If we go ahead and connect to a server by clicking on more, you'll see that we actually have SharePoint lists directly that's there. And if you just click on that, a few simple steps to get you started. You will have to know your SharePoint site. You'll have to know if this is on premises or if it's online. And then you'll have to go ahead and pick the authentication method, and hopefully you know your username and password to get logged in. So that should get you set up in the quickest way. The second way to be able to do this actually requires a little bit more of an effort. So if you're thinking about connecting maybe to an Excel, I have a handy dandy knowledge base article here put out by Tableau. It's recently updated as well. So I encourage you maybe just to have this a quick read, because it requires for us either on Windows or Mac to do a little bit of custom work, because essentially what we're using is saving that SharePoint file locally on your system and then using a universal naming convention path to have Tableau connect to that. So give that a try, see where you end up with that. If you run into any issues, reach out to me, let me know, I can help you troubleshoot. The last way to do this, which is kind of cool as well, because it's built out by an active community team. The Info Labs actually built out their own web data connector to connect to SharePoint list as well. So there is see if I can pull up this YouTube page here that I've brought inside of that QR code as well. As you can see here, Office 365 SharePoint web data connector for Tableau. So they have a little platform there, which is really handy. So kudos to them for bringing that up.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, I thought we were going to get really meta and play YouTube inside of YouTube for a second there.
That would be super meta.
Yeah, I like it. And sorry, I didn't bring up this slide on the stream before, but this is the slide Gia was referencing. But also we'll share this afterwards. So yep, all good. You can scan the QR codes, click on the bit.ly links. Perfect. But that's a great solution. I feel I've been in a fortunate position in my career where I haven't had to deal with SharePoint, but it sounds like something it's good to know.
Yeah.
How to handle if you do have to experience it every day. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the next one is, you again, Gia. So this is from Mustafa. Is there a rule of thumb of how many components a dashboard can have to keep the load performance at minimal levels? And what is the best practice to loading a Viz heavy dashboard so that the user experience is not impacted? And I assume this is on Tableau server when you're sharing stuff via a browser. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it's also a good point to call out, right? For example, how does your visualization layout look? How many marks you have on your dashboard as well? If you could ping over to the next slide there, we have some general guidelines here for you, quick and easy. The first one is try to avoid high mark counts if you can, because the more marks that you have, the longer it takes for it to render. Tableau is rendering every single mark and every single pixel. So I've worked on some projects where we've had a requirement to load maybe 2,000 comments. And as you can imagine, right, probably not the best way to approach it. In some cases, there was a specific need, but we definitely tried to kind of think of ways to limit doing that, right? Because each text pixel actually gets rendered, and you have to take that into consideration when we're accounting for performance, right? Second way to do this would be thinking about ways to limit the detailed text tables if you can, especially when there's a lot of marks. Thinking about minimizing the file sizes too, if you're using images or custom shapes wherever possible. And if you're going to use shapes or background images, think about using transparent ones instead and use PMGs. They're just a little bit more optimized, a little bit smaller. But when it does come to performance, building your dashboard is one way to optimize for it, and selecting the visualization is definitely another way to select for it. But I think that we need to have a conversation as well on the multiple layers of what goes into an optimized dashboard, right? So we've actually put together a Tableau performance checklist. This is actually a colleague of mine who wrote this, and I thought maybe it'd just be a good opportunity to bring that forth. So we do have that inside of the bit.ly link. You're more than welcome to click on that to read that. I'm just going to go ahead and just give you an idea of what that kind of looks like. So I'm going to share my screen here. I'll bring up that blog post written by a colleague named Brad Fair. The entire list is pretty extensive, so I don't want to spend too much time going through this, but just to give you an idea, for example, we start at the data level, thinking about, right, keeping the analysis simple, thinking about maybe creating a TDS file as we get there, using extracts, right? Just a couple of things on the data level. And we start thinking about, well, how can we optimize at the filtering level? Thinking about minimizing the number of quick filters there, avoid selecting certain things like only relevant values, and maybe then going to the next layer down. What about custom SQL, right? Are we using custom SQL in live connections? Because that really greatly affects that. Are you using parameters with custom SQL? That will also run into performance issues. We can also kind of optimize it from a calculation standpoint, right? Using calculated fields carefully, limiting blended calcs if we need to, right? And then it comes down to that rendering piece. So as you can see, there's quite a few things to kind of go through, and we have a series that just covers each and every single one of these. I think would be helpful for you guys to have a read through. Keep it in your pocket whenever you need it, whenever you're optimizing, right? It's not just potentially the viz that you're building. There could be other ways to approach it. And maybe one last thing that I'll just add in here as well, I'll shoot this link over as well. We do have a nice handy dandy little flow chart that kind of ties into the last virtual tug that we had, where we had Robert Rouse, a former Tableau Zen master, kind of come in and speak. He's actually published a fantastic blog on this as well. And this is the Tableau performance optimization flow chart. It's really, really nice because you can start to flow through and see where the performance issues are occurring. Are they happening on the desktop side? Let's test it and kind of go down, right, this flow chart and see what really are the issues. Is it slow on one side? Is it slow on both? And then you can kind of get through to your conclusion and solutions to be able to solve that as well. So really neat resource there that we'll hand over to you guys. And thank you so much for the question, because it just gives us an opportunity to look more into maybe some of the less known issues that could be affecting performance.
Cool, thanks. Cheers. So yeah, I've just seen the chat, and Mustafa's really loving the answer there. Thank you for engaging in the chat, Mustafa. And as Gia said, the links will be shared, and they're great resources. So yeah, that's great. We'll share those out on Twitter and on our Tableau user group LinkedIn page. So yeah, or they'll also be at the bottom of this video or YouTube link after this is wrapped up. Okay, cool. So actually, just on the back of that, we've got someone in chat just asking. Swagat is saying, if we want to embed our dashboard or on a website for people to be able to interact with it, do all of them need to have a license? And I guess that's pretty easy one, right? That's kind of a yes, unless you use Tableau Public. But company data and Tableau Public don't go well together.
And then also maybe consider, is it internal or is it external, right? Because if it's external folks that you're looking to share these, you maybe want to consider something like embedded licenses and leveraging an embedded use case. And good news on that is that the embedded licensing and the embedded use case, you get a little bit of a discount there on your licenses.
Cool, nice. And yeah, just anyone's wondering, we're not sponsored, we're not on commission here. We just love Tableau that much, so it's all good. Cool. And actually, just so it seems like a good point to just ask one more question. We got Williams Hugh asking about creating calendar layouts that can provide insight for deprecation of inventory and recommended replenishment. And I think I saw, Steri, you found a solution or like something which might give them good guidance.
Yeah, I know Mira, who co-leads our Data Plus Women here in Singapore. She did a great viz last year on coal mining, I think. It was one of the Makeover Mondays, and she did a calendar visualization there. Actually, I think it was one of the visualizations of the day. So I posted that link up there, and it will be downloadable, and it's something that potentially can help you. Excellent. And yeah, we'll make sure that's here, but also shared afterwards too. So cool, great. Loving the interaction, guys. Keep it coming. This is it's for the community, so it's great when you guys interact. Thanks. Okay, so let's go to the. Do we have any more questions? Let's have a quick look. We do not. No. So thank you for all those questions. Hopefully they've been helpful to you, and we'll probably do this again another time. So you've seen kind of what happens here. So next time we do this, if you've got any questions, submit them, and yeah, hopefully we'll capture them on the next live stream.
If I could just interject as well, just
sure
interacting with everybody. We would also love your suggestions on what you'd like to see coming from the TUG as well. Since we're going to be doing this virtual format for a little longer, we're keen to make it more interactive, make it more fun, get you guys involved. So do let us know in the chat. What else would you like to see? How are some ways for us to kind of improve that as well, right? So please do follow up with us. And additionally, if anyone's got anything great that they would potentially like to present at the next TUG, we are all open to suggestions for sure. Yeah, and that's a great point. Like this, typically when we do it in person, we would also invite members of the community to share their stuff. Like is it a dashboard you've built and you're super proud, or a cool new feature which has changed your working life? Like, let us know. You can speak for it to 1 minute, 5 minutes, how long you want. We can facilitate you coming on to this live stream and sharing your story. And yeah. Don't be shy, and we're here to help, and your stories will help the community, and it all just feeds into a lovely positive cycle. So yeah, give us a shout. We'll find reach out to us on, I guess, Twitter, Tableau Singapore user group on LinkedIn, and there are probably other ways, but yeah, we're easy to find. We're not hiding. Okay, cool. Okay, so yeah, great section there. We do have one more question, but we'll come back to that in the next section, because I'm eager to hand you over to Rudy, who's going to talk about Tableau 2020.2, because it just kind of went live and there's some cool features which have just come out. So without further ado, I'll hand you over to Rudy.
All right, thanks David for that. Okay, let me start sharing my screen. Right, so Tableau 2020.2 dropped sometime in early May. I think it was the first week of May. And while there are a slew of amazing features that were added there, today I'll be introducing you two of the main ones that will be having a lot of impact in the way you interact with Tableau. Right, so a couple of these. The first one, we have a new data modeling capability. I'll actually walk through this in quite a bit of detail later on, because this will massively change the way you interact with data inside Tableau. Right, and on top of that, we also introduce a new type of content. So this one is specifically for Tableau Server. This is called metric. So it's an easy way for you to see and basically manage and curate your important KPIs. These are usually mobile first in terms of the design, right? So a lot of it, you'll see this is for your C-level, for your director level audiences, for them to quickly compile a list of important metrics that they're tracking. Right, so let's go into the first feature, which is data modeling capability. So officially the name for this is relationship, right? And for you to, I guess, to appreciate the context of it, I'll have to walk you through an example of dealing with data in Tableau as of now and what is going to be in the future state, right? So back to our good old friend Excel.
Sorry,
Here.
Rudy, just to jump in, could you share
Hang
your
on.
screen? Sorry, I don't think it's fully shared.
My bad. Let me see that.
That's all good. I did it last week. It's all last time. It's all good.
Okay, so hopefully
Cool.
you guys can see my screen right now.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So two main things we'll be introducing today. My bad for that. We have the new data modeling capability, right, and also metrics to introduce today. So what is the new data modeling capability? Officially, this is called relationships. So let me walk you through a sample data set here, right? So think of it, this is usually for sort of the more complex data relationship use cases. Imagine now you are an analyst for a retail chain and you're trying to analyze a couple things, right? Number one, you have some details about the customer, right? This is just, I have 3 customers, A, B, and C. I have some detail about them. What are the names? How old are they? What is your gender? Right, and then I have the first table, fact table, technically information table. So this is just about sales, right? So I have transaction data over here on the first table. Each row is a transaction made by a customer. So I can tell customer A made in total 4 transactions, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 different dates. And if you just sum up all the aggregation together, just total sales, I'll get, okay, customer A made total $50 in sales, customer B $35 in sales, and customer C $55 in sales. Right now, this goes well for sort of a simple analysis. Now, what I want to do actually, I want to correlate this with something else, right? So on my data set, I have another table, right? This is the second information table, the second fact table, which is website visits, right? So let's say the big question here is I want to see whether my website traffic is helping me drive adoption, right? Or helping me drive sales, basically. So I want to see how many times did a customer visit our website, and does it actually translate to higher sales in terms of revenue? Right, so it looks pretty simple in terms of the question, but when actually deal with this in terms of the data level, it's not that straightforward, because now you have sort of a many-to-many relationship, right? In one table, you have a different level of detail. In the first one, you have transaction level detail, and this is entirely different from the website traffic. These are 2 unrelated data sets altogether. So if you're using Tableau as of now, right, maybe some of you are still in 2020.1, this is how it's going to look like when you load it up. Right, so I have here the desktop portion. I have the data sets loaded up. So I'm just going to load up 2 of them separately, right? So now I'm connecting to one table, which is the sales, and I'm connecting to another one, which is the web activity, right? So I'm connecting to them separately. If I just do it in a way, okay, I'll bring in one detail about customer here. Let's bring in the total sales figure, give it a label, and also bring in the web activity. Right, so you notice here when I'm doing a blend, right, what I mean by blend is that I have loaded 2 of those data sources separately. I have one source for sales, one source for web activity, website visits. I actually get the right numbers, right? $50 in sales, customer A visited twice. Now, the main problem arises when you try to combine all of these in a single data connection, right? So in the old data model, when it looks something like this, I'm trying to directly join 3 of my tables together, right? My customer detail linked up to my sales, linked up to my web activity directly rather than separately. When you try to pull in the numbers, some of you, I'm pretty sure you've experienced this at once or many times across your experience with Tableau. So if I bring in sales here and also my website visit, you'll see we don't get the right figure, right? So let's just do a comparison here. On the top, I have the blending result, which is correct. At the bottom, I have the joined result, the combined data source result, and it's actually duplicated, right? So for customer A, I have $100. Customer B, I have 200, where it's supposed to be only 35, right? So if some of you notice what's happening here is that there is duplication happening, right? If you look at the actual data source, so let's say for customer A, right, this is a single transaction. So let me sort by date and also by customer, right? So this is a single transaction that happens on the 1st of January. The sales is $10, but because customer A visited the website twice, Tableau is sort of duplicating that row in as many times as they visit on the other data source. Right? Again, a many-to-many relationship. In the old Tableau model, you don't get a good experience. You get a lot of duplicates. You can still fix it through calculations, level of detail expressions, and any of that. But it'll take time and effort to fix it up directly, right? So I'm going to show you the new data modeling capability in Tableau, right? So this is 2020.2. The first thing you'll notice is that the experience is going to be slightly different, right? Because right now we're establishing logical relationship rather than physical join on the table. So if I bring in my customer detail here, and I'll bring in my, let's say my sales activity first, right? So you notice the relationship model, even the icon is different. Rather than the join icon there, what I'll see, we call this noodles, actually pretty funny, right? Because if you bring in more tables, you see they kind of get wiggly. So the noodles here represent relationship across the different tables. And Tableau is not actually combining all of them on the row level. It's now intelligent enough to be able to just ask the right amount of information to each of the tables, right? So now if I just build something simple here, right? And you'll notice the UI also is slightly different, right? So your dimension and measure is not split up into two segments as you would in the older Tableau. It's now split up in each individual table. So in your customer detail, you'd have your list of dimension, you have some measure. On your sales, you'd have that as well. So now if I bring in, let's say just my customer, and let's build up something simple. If I look at sales over here, right? And I'll take a look at the number of visits as well. Right, so it's as simple as that. Just by relating the model on a logical level rather than a physical level, Tableau is smart enough to figure out what is the right join to do, what is the right table to pull, and what is the right kind of question that we need to ask to remove that problem. Right, so this is one of the, I guess, the simpler case of using this. You might be dealing with a lot more complicated ways to model your data, right? If you're connecting to your data warehouse with 50 tables in there, probably try it out, see how it works on new relationship. Here, it should solve up most of your data modeling issue that you had previously in Tableau, right? So you don't have to go to prep and pre-aggregate them beforehand. You don't need to do blending to do this kind of combination because, you know, blending comes with no limitation. Typically in performance, you can't do certain things. So it's just going to be massively improving your data connection experience in Tableau. Right, so this relationship, pretty exciting. Try it out with your own data, definitely, if you haven't upgraded your Tableau. Do so, at least on a desktop side. The next thing I'm going to walk you through is the metrics, right? So what are metrics? In essence, this is a new content type within Tableau Server, right? So if you're familiar with Tableau Server, you should be familiar with, you know, we have projects, which are kind of folders, so you can collect all of your dashboards. You have workbooks. You have views as well, which are individual visualization in the dashboards. We're introducing a new content here called metrics, right? So what is these? Think of it as a very simple view on a visualization, and this is built on a single measure typically, right? And it's always based on time. It's easy enough for you to track, okay, let's say I'm looking at sales, I'm looking at profit, I'm looking at number of COVID cases. Maybe you're just compiling this for your C-level executives to take a look at the health of the business recently, right? This is meant to be mobile consumed first, so this will nicely become sort of tiles in your Tableau mobile application. I'll show you that in a bit later. The idea is, how do you create this? It's pretty simple. So from any dashboard that you have done previously, right? So this is sort of a manual way of combining those metrics. So now let's say somebody is interested in tracking my net profit. All I need to do is click on that line chart, go to the metric option at the top, and create a metric based on that specific measure, right? So this is net profit. I'm going to create a metric here, just going to create that. And once you go to the metric, this is sort of a curated view of your KPI. It nicely slices it up in the time level. So you can easily track your changes over time. You can track, okay, which period am I on a spike? Which period am I on a dip? And you can easily compile a list of these and share this with the rest of your users. So you can share the metric as well to the rest of your organization. Right, so these are the two very exciting new things that we have in Tableau. If you're interested in the whole list of feature, I recommend you to go into our new features site on our website. We have some explanation on the other exciting things we have, from geospatial analysis to an improvement in Ask Data, Explain Data. This will also improve your experience within Tableau. All right, so yeah, that's all I have to share,
Cool.
and let's pass it back to David.
Cool, great. Thanks, Rudy. Yeah, I'm seeing quite a few wows and awesomes in the chat. That's it's cool to see, and it's as always great to see Tableau's just constantly evolving their product and listening to users and prioritizing the best use cases and needs and features to support people. So yeah, very, very cool stuff. And I'm getting hungry now. The word of noodles kind of, as soon as I heard that, my stomach started grumbling. But it's all good. We're nearly the end. We've got like another 15 minutes roundabout. So yeah, hopefully stay with us and you can get some food too. Awesome. Okay, so now we're into the final section before we do like a Q&A if there are any extra things people want to ask us whilst we're live. But yeah, so what's going on in the kind of APAC, Singapore, local and global Tableau community? So Sarah, Gia, Celine, and myself have taken upon ourselves to kind of find 4 key areas for things for you guys to watch out for, engage with, and all that stuff. So I'm going to start off first. For those of you who don't know, Tableau runs like a really comprehensive but really cool, informative and effective e-learning course. They do have the free content, but then they go one step further and go really into the details and a lot of cool features and how to implement them. And currently they have a 90-day free trial. Typically, I think is it $5 or $10 a month typically? Celine, is that correct? It's a small cost anyway.
I think it's 10.
10, yeah. So worth it anyway, but now it's free, yeah. So so if you just use the access code 2020 e-learning right here. But yeah, it's really comprehensive, really great. I've yet to take it myself, but I know what it's inside of it, and it's going to help a lot of people. I've seen some samples. Equally, I believe there's some certificates 50% off. Is that also correct, Celine? I think that's also awesome.
So we have 50% off right now for the desktop specialist certification examination. So here's your chance to take advantage of this opportunity and take the certification. It does not expire, so this certification definitely adds to your portfolio and gives you a lot of recognition as someone who specializes in Tableau desktop. So do take the exam.
Cool. And it's just great to see Tableau, among many other things, just engage with the community and help people out. Like, we're stuck inside, probably ample opportunity to learn, and they're just coming out at us with this kind of cool stuff. This could be a great time to be like, let's jack up the price, but they're offering it for free, so we can all benefit. So yeah, I highly recommend you get on board. And yeah, maybe by the next virtual tug, we can see how many of you have participated. And I believe there are also badges. So if you complete the courses, you get badges. So maybe we'll have some kind of prize. Whoever's got the most badges next time, we can give some kind of prize out to. So yeah. Cool. So the next area is, speaking of doing cool stuff with the community and families, is Tableau Kids. And I think, Sarah, you're going to speak to that one. Is that correct?
Yeah. So there's a great place on the tableau.com. I think it's on the next slide, but we won't skip there yet, of a piece around Tableau data for kids. And I had a quick look at it, and it's really fun. It's all about kind of creating, collecting, and summarizing the data and stuff, and just getting your kids involved. I don't know if anyone else on the watching now, but I have a very active 7-year-old at the moment that is just like a superhero in the hallway behind me, who can do with every now and again a bit of sit-down activity where he's doing something a little bit different than rampaging through the apartment. So if we just go to the next slide, I just took one of the examples, and there is a couple of ones up there. Is the slide deck still there?
I'm presenting now. Oh, hang on. I'm going to present right now. Here we go. Cool.
Okay. So one of them was around favorite characters, and it kind of goes through like maybe a superheroes, and it gets the kids to like think of some maybe different qualities that they've got. And this one's focusing on maybe what color hair your superhero had. So kind of going around and collecting the data, and then maybe doing a bit of a mock-up like we would do in our day jobs, and then it actually teaches all the way through to putting that in Tableau and stuff. So I think that's really fun. It's just something that you can maybe engage the kids in, or if you are a big kid yourself, you could also get in there. It's all like very, very straightforward steps. So yeah, a bit of fun there, and you can see it's there. I mean, you can just Google Tableau data for kids if you're looking for something, but yeah, loads of fun.
Cool. I might get involved myself. It seems awesome.
I saw your eyes light up then, David.
Yeah, like, oh, superheroes. Yeah, it's good. Okay, cool. So the next one is we're hosting a wider Southeast Asia Tableau user group virtual meetup coming up soon. So is that you, Celine?
Yeah, so this is really exciting. This is coming up on the 4th of June, which is just 2 weeks from now. So the registration page is now open. Head on down to this link or scan this QR code right now to register. It's going to be a big event. We are going to incorporate all the groups, all the Southeast Asia Tableau user groups, and there are 8 of them. So this is really exciting. We're involving all our leaders. They're going to come together. They're going to give an introduction of their groups, tell you a bit more, tell you some fun stuff that's going on. And we're also inviting 2 special guest speakers whom, if you want to find out, head on down to that page.
Love it. Great tease. But yeah, I've seen the lineup secretly, and it's cool stuff. So yeah, go check it out. You won't be disappointed. That's awesome. And then finally, we're moving on to last but no means least. Jia is gonna. Oh no. Did we? Oh no, we're not doing that one. Sorry, but Jia's busy in the chat answering questions. So I guess we have 10 minutes left, and we're getting towards the end. So. What I might do, Jia, were there any questions which might be better for like a verbal answer? We could address now, or if there are any other questions people have, fire them in the chat, ask us, and we're happy to answer them right now. And if not, we get 10 minutes back. So, Jia, are there any questions you could answer? Better verbal?
I think there might be a question here that Rudy maybe want to jump in on if he's still around. Is he still around?
And I think he's gone.
Okay, yeah, there's a good one. Can the new data modeling feature connect tables from multiple databases without blending?
Okay, we will have to. It looks like I don't think we can answer
I need to
one.
vet that for you.
Yeah, but
not sure off the top of my head.
But we'll find out and get back to you. Okay. Cool. Any other questions?
Yeah, guys, feel free to continue to ping questions. I'm just monitoring the chat and trying to answer them as quickly as I can.
Yeah, great. You've been doing a great job. Thanks for that, man. That's I see a lot of them have already been answered, so this is cool. Thank you. Well, if not, we give it a few more seconds. If not, we get 22 minutes. We get 8 minutes back. Thank you for staying with us for just under an hour. You've been a really cool, engaged audience. Thank you for everyone who submitted questions beforehand. Big thanks to my co-facilitator. We'll answer that. So big thanks to my co-hosts, Sarah, Jia, Celine. You guys have been amazing. Thanks for making content and joining us today.
Yeah. And just, I guess, if you're not already part of the LinkedIn group, do join. And I think just what David was talking about a little bit as well around the e-learning, do maybe collect some badges, and like we said, we might have some prizes for the badges that are collected through the e-learning in the next virtual talk.
Yeah, we'll find a way to get them to you.
Yeah.
We'll have a patience or post if you're willing to wait during this crisis. Actually, we got one question. Speaking of the LinkedIn group, hang on, let's go back to this. The people, who do we have? Mustafa's asking, how do we find us on LinkedIn? So multiple ways. You can use this QR code, or you can go on to this bit.ly link, bit.ly/sg-tug, and that will take you to a Tableau dashboard, but also like very prominently at the top, there is the LinkedIn group for our Singapore Tableau user group. So very easy to find. And if you can't write it down, it's in this video. It's been present constantly in the live stream the whole time. So yeah, go use that. It's the best way to get there. We have one more question from Min Jung Lee, and I think I'm probably up to like $50 now on mispronunciation. So I'll make sure to donate that by the end of the week. I
will collect all that money for you guys.
Yeah.
Don't worry not.
Yeah, thanks. I hadn't forgotten in case people thought I was trying to get away. Yeah, it's good. But we got, Min Jung Lee, who's saying, this question is super basic. They love the metric feature that Rudy just shared, but they're asking, do we need a license to customize the metric view? Would you guys be able to field that one?
Maybe just to clarify on license, because other than maybe Tableau Public, I'd imagine you would need a license for it. So if that's not the thing that you're asking, maybe re-clarify or just follow up with us offline, and we'll get you the right answer.
Cool. Okay, yeah. So yeah, thank you. I'm just gonna $55. Saravanan has said, yeah, they enjoyed this and they found the LinkedIn group. So thanks for that. And we'll accept everyone who's coming in. And yeah, this is the best way to stay updated on just cool content, when the next live stream is going to be, just other general awesome Tableau community news. So yeah, join, and yeah, thank you very much. You've been a wonderful audience. There's been wonderful co-hosts, and yeah, we'll see you in the next Tableau Singapore live stream user group thing. My brain's going. I'm hungry. Cool.
Thanks everyone for joining.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you
guys. Take care, everybody.
Cool. I'm gonna get some noodles. Okay, hang on. Just gonna end the stream.